Hey, I'm Joe, and today I want to talk to you about something I use all the time in my photo and video work, magic arms. So a lot of you probably already seen these if you work in film or in photography. People use these on set all the time. If not, I'll just give you a quick rundown on what they are and kind of how they work. So a magic arm, sometimes people call them friction arms. They are a segmented arm that has 2 bolts on either end of it and a knob in the middle that tightens everything down. On the ends where the bolts are, typically they come in 1/4 or 3/8 for like the thread size. Those sit in a ball head. And then around that ball head, there's this like swiveling collar that will allow you to drop that down to like a 90-degree angle if you're mounting a light or a camera or some of the other things we're going to talk about here a little bit later on. They do come in all different flavors, so if you're looking at these online, I would suggest looking at the reviews, figuring out what other people are using. I'll put some links down below to the ones that I have, and you can get good ones for cheap. But you just should do the research, because there are also cheap ones that don't have good tension, they don't stay put, they don't stay in place, and you definitely don't, especially if you're going to rig anything overhead, you don't want anything that's going to fail on you. So now that we know how they work, how do people use them? Probably the number one use I use this for is hiding small LED lighting fixtures. And when you put a super clamp on this magic arm and then you attach the other end to the lighting fixture, you can mount these things all over the place. I've mounted them in my basement. I have kind of what I would consider like a poor man's lighting grid by using the floor joist in my basement to kind of mount these things overhead. I've mounted them on doors and door frames. I've mounted them on crazy things like microwave handles. You could mount them pretty much anywhere that would fit into the jaw clamp size. I think my magic arms are like 2 inches wide, so you could get them kind of on the bottom of 2x4 and things of that nature. One thing I do want to know when you're rigging stuff up like this is please use caution and be safe. If you can, you want to safety chain these to whatever you're working on if they're overhead, so it doesn't fall and hurt your gear or hurt anybody that's working with you on your production. One of the other things I use this for all the time is creating a quick and kind of easy overhead rig for a camera. I shoot these and all of my personal stuff right now on a Canon 80D, and I usually have a 28-75 Tamron f2.8 lens on it. It's not a super heavy package, not super light necessarily either by like the standards of mirrorless or something. But with the magic arm that I'm using and the combo, it works pretty well, and it holds up. The tension's good, it doesn't slip. I can get all kinds of cool overhead quick shots. If I want to show myself working with something with my hands, or you just want to get a weird angle if you're doing a vlog or something like that, these work really well for that. I haven't used it for this, but I also think it could be a great way to rig like a GoPro. Another way that I have used these magic arms to kind of work in my workflow is to mount microphones. I've got this little Movo VXR10 mic that I'm using right now and I use for a lot of my projects. Super light, but its shock mount is 1/4 on the bottom, so I can thread that right into the end of the bolt that's on the magic arm. I can clamp it to a desktop, I can clamp it to anything nearby if I'm like out and about and I don't have anywhere to mount my mic, but I want to get it closer to myself. It works really, really well for that. And of course, with a light fixture like that, it's going to hold it no problem, not going to slip, and it'll keep it close to you so the audio sounds good. One of the other super regular uses that I get out of magic arms in my day-to-day professional workflow is rigging an external monitor to our camera. To get focus peaking and false color and all that kind of stuff in a monitor, it's nice for us to be able to rig something external up onto our camera that's a little bigger, a little brighter, and it has some of those features that aren't necessarily built into the monitors with the camera that we're shooting on. And the magic arm works fantastic for that because it'll articulate, but it'll lock in place when you want it to. You can snug it down real tight. Those arms will kind of fold over each other if you need to keep it kind of compact on the camera package. Just works fantastic. And again, that 1/4 is a mount that most professional level cameras will have somewhere on their body, or if you have a camera cage on, they'll have typically a 1/4 20 mount that you can run that to, and it works perfect for that. So those are some of the biggest ways that I use magic arms in my workflow. I'm super curious if you have these or have used these. Be sure to leave it down in the comments below or hit me up on Instagram and let me know there. There are way more uses than what I talked about. It's just kind of what I do day to day with these. But if you haven't used them, take a look, see if you can find a good one online, and just play with it. So all I've got for you today, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next one.